Hi everyone, today is June 2nd, 2026. We're around about 6 o'clock CEST, Central European Summertime. We drew in our shapes today again. Looks like we're going to be bullish for the first part of the day. Interesting is the two circles that we draw to our inflection points. The first one right here, it's a smaller one because our inflection point is relatively close to the price action at the beginning of the day. I put in this circle, and as you can see, price action responds to that circle rather well. And it kind of shows us a setup right here, and then some change in the market right here. I'm actually anticipating for the market to draw to the bottom of this rectangle right here, to then continue its move up a bit steeper as it is than it is moving now. The second circle, this one, I actually drew in a bit bigger. The reason for that is the price action from yesterday. If you look at this, I took the circle to a higher inflection point in this case, and as you can see, yesterday's price action is perfectly resonating with the circle, like it's hooking in to this circle. I talked about this a bit yesterday, where you can see when price action hooks into a shape like this, it's usually a very good sign, or it's a very good indicator that this is the circle you should be looking for. So we're actually looking for price to move up. I was hoping to get my entry at the bottom of this rectangle. We'll have to see if that will actually happen. Yeah? Price could also just move bullish from here and move to our designated target right here. So what I think will happen, I think that price will move to the bottom of this rectangle. Not sure if it will, but I think it will. And then it will pull up to round about this point. And it's interesting because this is also the top of our range. So this is the top of our range, the upper bound, and this is the lower bound of our daily range. I'm curious to see whether price action will actually hit that point before reversal. We'll have to see. I'm not entirely sure. Could happen. And also around the price that we expect it to happen. We could also see maybe price rising to the top of our range until around about 8:50. So 8 hours 50, I mean, before price then will reverse. And I actually think that for today, there's a strong case to make that price will simply set up to this point and then continue a move down. We also have some inflation news around 11 o'clock. I think these are all minor indicators for price moving up, setting up to a reversal right here and then continuing down. I could be wrong, but that's my initial assumption for today. All right, you guys, so like I said, I'm looking for an entry at the bottom of this rectangle, and then I'm also looking for an entry right about the reversal between, let's say, 8 and 9 o'clock. I'll get back to you later this day. All right, so what we expected would happen actually happened. So we can see that price action is moving along the bottom of this rectangular shape right here. What's interesting to note is that price action never really hits the bottom here. It's interesting, but anyway, price moved up to the top of the channel, kind of as we had expected, and then rebounded as we also expected. I guess what's interesting is this retest right here. I didn't quite expect that, especially since it didn't quite reach the top of this channel. So that's interesting to note, I guess. It seems to be retesting this top of our daily range, actually. No, it seems to be testing it. So something interesting came to my mind, and it's kind of a theory that I'm playing around with right now, and that's why I took the following course of action. Like, I kind of want to explain my the train of thought that I had. So since price action didn't really hit the bottom of this rectangular shape right here, my thinking was that this is actually just a hop. So from here, this is only just a hop. Only, just barely not touching the bottom right here, but this is simply just a hop. And this is one touch of the rectangular shape. This is the next one. And here we actually had a inflation event. So I was expecting price to really take off. So to really have a jolt right here. We didn't get this jolt though. And I'm kind of playing with the theory that price is bouncing here, price is bouncing here a second time, and then price wants to actually surpass this daily range and also this inflection line right here. So it wants to go up. And I think it's about to make this big leap upward into this channel right here. That's kind of the theory that I currently have. The second piece of evidence that supports this is the shape of this circle and also this retest right here. So this retest is actually touching this circle right above here. You see that? 1, 2, testing it, not quite making it. And now my feeling is that price is kind of walking along the bottom of this rectangular shape. You're maybe asking, well, why didn't you take this trade? Were you waiting to hit the bottom of this rectangular shape? Not at all. The thing was, I was actually at a client on site, so I wasn't at my trading console. Therefore, I wasn't aware of this trade. I guess had I been at my trading console, I would have seen a drop in price here. Probably see, well, it's close enough. Maybe if price is already pulling away, then I would have probably taken a position right here, especially since I already knew that our target, like between 8 and 9 o'clock, and now the top was at 8:33. So that was actually pretty accurate of mine. Not on purpose though. That was kind of a lucky shot that I exactly got the middle between 8 and 9. All right. So now my theory is that price is actually moving up from here and not down. It's a pretty, I guess, unconventional thing to think, but the main reason is it didn't touch the bottom of the shape. That's really what's bugging me. We got a bit of a test here. I guess same thing. I wasn't at my trading console right here. I don't know. Either one of two things could have happened. I could have chickened out, or I could have doubled down. I think I would have picked the former, if I'm honest right now, because this is also, kind of experimental motion, even for me. Unusual formations today, so I'm kind of testing the waters, kind of seeing, okay, what's going on, and can I get a win? I'm not quite sure. I want to quickly jump to a conclusion I made yesterday, which today I think maybe hasn't been that accurate. So remember yesterday when we were actually finishing our position, I think here it was. And we assumed that this price action was actually just, kind of overshoot, or speculators kind of pushing price down beyond the point of where we would take our profit. No? So kind of the business we're not looking for. I think that's how I called it. That's what I called it yesterday. What I actually forgot yesterday was to put in this day separator at this time too. And then this morning I drew in this circle. Let me give it a try right here. So I'm gonna just take the price point right here on this day separator, and I'm just gonna pull up to this inflection point. And what you'll see, surprise, surprise, is that we hit the bottom of this circle exactly. This is not a first timer. This is also not a coincidence. It's just something that we didn't take into consideration yesterday and that we really should have. This is my bad. I'm sorry that I wasted your time or that I basically gave a wrong consulting there, a wrong consultation. So usually things, or in almost all cases, the price movements or price time movements, better yet, can be explained through geometry, as you can see. Yeah? These time separators, they're not placed there coincidentally. Also not the diagonals that you're seeing. Everything has a meaning. Every price movement has a meaning. Some price movements I simply just can't explain, but it's probably more due to my incompetence rather than the underlying axioms. Yeah, so the pillars of thought underneath the system. You could say the undercurrents of the market, and my lack of understanding sometimes. So please excuse me if I make bad judgment calls in that sense. I want to be honest here. All right, so let's just wait and see if we're going to get bullish price movement, if we're going to get some. We have another news event coming up around 4 o'clock today. So that could mean a bit of volatility, but it could be prior to that. And I think if we're going to get some, we're going to get a lot. So we're going to probably go into the range of 116,720 for the first move, and then probably closing the day around, I think, 116.88. I think those are the kind of levels we should look at today. All right, I'll be back in a minute with a market update. All right, so guys, it's shortly before 11 in the evening. All right, so I took a bit longer this time to really see how price action developed. So our experiment today really didn't work out as we expected, because we were actually thinking that price action would break to the upside and kind of break through the daily range, so the upper bound of the daily range. So, and that didn't happen at all. So, and of course, it's interesting to ask ourselves, well, not just the why, but what did I do and why did I do it? So this is the first position we took, which was a sell position, and we took profit here in order to then reverse course, because I explained before why. Price went up a bit, and it's hard to say why a reversal occurred and why it occurred here. I cannot really explain, I guess. I was actually still focused in my mind, or still locked in on the idea that price would reverse. So no, price would continue to the upside, and that this circle would actually help us mark the spot where it would do this. So this is where I took another position, with this position still open. As it then broke through the circle, I still didn't think much of it. And I basically used this line right here, which is the 2x steepness of what you would regularly expect from one of the inflection lines higher. And since I figured price was like really leaning into this line, I was actually expecting, well, our bullish idea still isn't off the table. This is where we then got the inflation news event. You can kind of see this from the volatility here. And also, we must kind of realize that this is the regular upward channel, and this is the regular downward channel. And this is the decision point, you could say, where price should decide on whether it should go up or down. It doesn't always happen at this point, but usually you can see a clear direction of where price is or should be going at this time of day. What I found hard about today's setup is that the real breakout or the main move happened after this day separator in the afternoon. So in fact, we really had price going up, then being taken down by this line, then going up again, retesting our the upper bound of our daily range, and then taking us down actually from there. This motion kind of reaffirming us in our belief that price could potentially go up. It really didn't. It just touched the bottom of the regular channel. The regular bullish channel, I should say. It retested but was strongly rejected, and then continued on its way down through this 2x steepness channel, coming from this point right here, and also coming from the inflection line above the zone from where we started. All right. So then price is taken down through this channel, and then it touches the bottom of our daily range. It doesn't touch exactly. There can be slight inaccuracies in this work, so it doesn't bother me that much. It really shows us that sometimes when you're doing creative or hard think, it's not always the best idea. Not at all. We were creative in our thinking, saying, this didn't really touch. So we were kind of expecting price to keep going up and break our regular daily range that it would usually use. But as you can see, at the end of the day, price moved to the bottom of our daily range, right? So the easier option is sometimes the better option, okay? So I told you before that the red circles, I used them I tried them in the past. I wasn't really convinced. And I think today you can really see why. There's instances where they work really well, sometimes for entries or, exits, seeing reversals. But there's just as many instances where the red circles don't really have a meaning or don't really have a persistence in our day. And in the end, turn out to be more of a noise factor than they actually help us. So, I'm actually convinced that we should maybe take out these circles. A red circle that worked really well today was this one. So coming from I believe the second day separator, no, the third day separator, and then going to our, so to the top inflection point right here. And that worked really well. So that showed us the initial reversal, so the main reversal of the day. This was actually a good entry, and we took our position, we took a profit here due to reasons mentioned. But this was actually a good entry, and this is simply just. I think this has just been a retest of this entry. Basically, this is how we can consider it, I believe, at this point. All right, so difficult day to analyze, especially when you have these kind of retests and then the main move coming at such a late stage in the day. That's why I decided to make the final part of this video a bit later in the day, so even, you know, approaching the night, so you could really see the price development toward the end of the day. And our best anchor point here for our exit would have been the bottom of our daily range. Yeah. All right. So thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. Hope to see you tomorrow, and take care.